let's like do like maybe a 3-step strategy of, let's say I know November's my down month. What is my strategy in August, to make sure that doesn't happen, or I minimize the downside? Because again, I'll equate, losing money in when you have an investment, when you lose a percentage point, you got to gain more than that just to get back to even, right? So if I lost 50% in the market, I'd have to gain more than that 50% back just to get back to even. And when you have a month where you don't see as many patients as you normally see, well below your make break number, guess what? It's going to take 2 or 3 months for you to get back to even. So what's the strategy of what I can do right now so that those down months aren't down as bad?
Yeah. Well, first thing I'm going to say, and I'm not saying this because I run an agency. I mean, all day long, it's our passion and purpose to help private practice owners do fantastic and really achieve their business dreams and goals so that they can have the lifestyle that they want for their family. And so when I'm talking about the things you need to do, it's not that I'm trying to sell something. It's that this is what you have to win. And the first thing you have to realize is you have to have a marketing budget. You have to be willing to spend on marketing to drive statistics and to drive new patients or new clients. We just aren't in the world that we were. I mean, and granted, there are some really fantastic doctors that their medicine is so good that they have a really good referral base. And for a lot of people listening to this, that might be the case. But you can't rest on that forever. You got to be doing some marketing so that the new families moving into communities, and especially the young families that are on TikTok, on Instagram, they're looking at your website. They're looking at everything that are on these phones. These phones guide them about everything. 90% of their decisions are going to happen after they've looked at your stuff on their phone. They're going to look at your website. They're going to look at you on Instagram. They're going to see if you have a YouTube channel and what you have to say, because they want to know that they can trust you. Of course, they're obviously going to look at your reviews. If they, go to your Google profile and they're going to see, okay, this guy's got 200 great reviews compared to somebody else, right? So the first thing, number one, is be willing to have a marketing budget and go, today, some things I have to have. Now, I'm going to say this, but then I'm going to go to exactly what you need to do to handle those down months. Okay. But have a marketing budget and look at how your website stacks up against the competition. And this is a drill that I think every doctor or office manager that wears that marketing hat for a doctor should do, is list out their 3 top competitors in their market and go, good, look at their website and look at a couple of their social profiles, right? And go, good. Now look at your own website. And how do you stack up? Are you winning in that game? Or if someone does their homework and looks around, are you going to lose that game? Mm-hmm. Well, if you are, the first thing you do, and if you're going to run ads, you're going to hit this too, right? Because if someone sees an ad that, let's say we talked about, okay, September 1st, you want to start hitting ads and doing some investment in Google ads and maybe some Facebook ads for your November downtime. Well, unfortunately, if you do that and spend a bunch of money and drive people to your website, to your homepage or a landing page that's specifically about a product you want to sell, like let's say you're an orthodontist and you want to drive people to come get, Sure Smile or Invisalign or some kind of clear aligners product, or if you're a dentist and you're trying to pump on that for, because it's a good profitable area. Well, let's say you do that and you drive them to a landing page on your website, but your website is the worst in your market, or, mediocre, but there's 2 other dentists in your area that have a fantastic website with fantastic pages about their clear aligner product. Well, you're not going to do yourself any favors to spend $1,000 or $2,000 or even more per month on ads. That's going to give someone the idea that, well, you're mediocre in that market. You're not the best, right?
Yeah. So your core of your marketing, which obviously for a lot of practice owners is their website, which is basically your business card. It's a mirror into your practice, what they're going to look at. It's got to be top notch. Really does.
We don't have a choice anymore.
Yeah.
And I literally, Eric, I do this all the time. I have a doctor, come in through my website or through a referral and go, well, how does it look? Because I do a marketing evaluation. That's what I do. That's the start of any relationship is I do a 30-minute marketing evaluation. I go, look, let's look at your stuff. Let's look at your competition. Where do you really stand? It's not a sales conversation. It's just, let's do this for you. Let's look at where you really stand. And I tell you, if your website doesn't stack up, you really don't have a choice. Unfortunately, you got to be competitive because 90% of the people out there these days are going to check you out first and make sure that they click with you, that what they look for in a dentist or a vet or a physical therapist or whatever they're looking for is the kind of person they want to work with. Does it resonate with them? Are you their people, right? Do I see the kind of people at your practice that are my people, right? And there's things you do to do that. You get some video footage in your website. You get a nice hero banner. You get real pictures of you guys, the doctor and the staff working with clients and some testimonials from those clients. And so when you go to that website, it's not what I call a McDonald's website. It's not just the stock photos you see on every other website. I mean, Eric, if you've been to some of these conventions and trade shows, especially like a dental convention or a vet convention, it's almost embarrassing. The same stock photo of dogs or the model for a dentist is in 10 different booths. And if you go to the websites, they're also on 10 different dental websites. I mean, have you seen that?
You do definitely see the same pictures over and over again.
And the public, your target audience, when they see that, it doesn't build trust. It does the opposite. They go, well, they're not proud of themselves enough to show off their own practice. They're showing me stock photos I've seen 10 other times earlier in my life in other towns I've lived in and other dentists I've visited. They all look the same. You don't want to look the same.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. So I mean, the website has to be, obviously it should be awesome, but even if it's just a reflection of who you are and your practice, it's really important that it looks top notch, great pictures, personable, those things I think you just touched on.